That's my guy.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Shawn, for everything.
Appreciate it.
I hope it's not the last time when we see and we can.
We're going to be here a lot.
Siemanko, witam was wszystkich w kolejnym filmie, a w zasadzie w kolejnym wywiadzie na kanale PolishFitnessFreak. Słuchajcie, ten materiał jest materiałem naprawdę wyjątkowym i dla mnie specjalnym. Mianowicie jest to wywiad z aktualnym Mr.Olympią Shawnem Rhodenem. Shawn Rhoden był w Polsce, w Rzeszowie, w siedzibie Olimpu. Dokładnie siedziba Olimpu mieści się pod Dębicą w miejscowości Pustynia, ale w Rzeszowie odbyło się spotkanie z fanami, podczas którego, czy zaraz po zakończeniu którego miałem możliwość dzięki Olimpowi na przeprowadzenie tego wywiadu, także no ja jestem mega szczęśliwy z tego powodu, że udało się to zrobić. Spełniło się moje jedno z największych marzeń związane z PFF. Nigdy nie sądziłem, na przykład 5 lat temu, kiedy zaczynałem robić te materiały, że będę miał przyjemność w ogóle stania obok Mr.Olympia aktualnego, a już przeprowadzenia z nim jakiegokolwiek wywiadu, rozmowy z nim w 4 oczy, face to face, to już w ogóle szczyt marzeń, także zapraszam was na wywiad. Oczywiście nie mógł on być zbyt długi, dlatego ma tylko 12 minut, docelowo nawet chyba niecałe, ale mam nadzieję, że Shawn powie parę fajnych, ciekawych rzeczy. Oczywiście wywiad będzie po angielsku i oczywiście proszę się nie czepiać mojego angielskiego, bo szczerze mówiąc no nie ukrywam, że troszeczkę trema mnie zjadła i tam jest na pewno parę błędów językowych. Mam nadzieję, że wybaczycie to. Też oczywiście napisy postaram się dograć w najbliższych dniach, także śledźcie tutaj PFF, oglądajcie sobie ten wywiad. Myślę, że już w przyszłym tygodniu na pewno o tej porze będziecie mieli napisy dodane dla tych osób, które nie znają angielskiego. Także wybaczcie mi błędy językowe. Ja tutaj postaram się tak ogarnąć, żeby jak najmniej ich było. No i lecimy. Ja zabieram się za obrabianie tego materiału, a was już zapraszam oczywiście na efekt końcowy. Bang! Witam wszystkich. Wywiad specjalny ze mną Shawn Rhoden, Mr.Olympia. Aktualny. Hello Shawn, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Z Shawnem my się spotkaliśmy pierwszy raz w Pradze, zaraz do tego dojdziemy, ale najpierw pytania, nie będę ukrywał, że mam tu wszystko przygotowane w telefonie, żeby czegoś nie pominąć. So Shawn, the first question, probably the most of our viewers are Polish fans of bodybuilding and some of them could not know your history. So the first question is, how did your adventure with bodybuilding has begin and how old were you when you have started the training? Because the last coach, also Arek Szyderski, he trained also with you. He told me that I must ask you about your leg workouts, etc., because this will be funny. So can you say something about your start and about the leg workout?
Well, I started competing, actually working out at, I think, 16, 17. I was a soccer player. Got dragged to the gym by my cousin that, thought that, hey, you know what, I would get a little bit stronger, and that led to me falling in love with bodybuilding. Did my first competition at 17, and it was just a great feeling being up on stage and dieting and training. Training legs have always been one of my favorite body parts. I do as much as sometimes sets of 50 in the leg press and leg extension. I feel as if because you are constantly walking and moving around on your legs, you have to push them a lot further than you've ever done, from your day-to-day walks. So I warm up with sets of one leg at a time, 25 to 50 reps. Then 2 legs, once the blood is flowing, same thing, 25 to 50 reps. The leg press, a high volume leg press, no matter how heavy the weight is. Then I do some squats, maybe on a machine like a flex machine front squat or a hack squat, and I always finish off with regular squats because I figure by then your legs are so fatigued you don't have to do 4 or 5 plates. Doing 2 and 3 plates, you should be able to fall on your butt, and then some walking lunges.
So just a little bit.
just a little bit more than the average guy.
Okay. Now a lot of people say that you must stay in shape all year around. I know it's not your concept, but what do you think about it?
If you want to make improvement in your physique, it's very hard for you to stay in competition shape. I don't care who you are. In order for you to put on quality size and quality weight, you're going to have to eat some garbage. You're going to have to get fat. And anyone that wants to walk around in shape 265 days out of the year, I don't think bodybuilding is for them, because most bodybuilders, when you do see them in the off season, they look a little bit chunky. You need that. You need a break from just constantly eating clean all year long.
Okay, and now this is the next question. I know you train a lot of time with Charles Glass. Now you train with Psycho Fitness. So what is the difference in the philosophy of training between Glass and Psycho?
Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but when I moved out to California in 2013, I trained with both Charles and Psycho Fitness.
At the same time?
At the same time. Actually, I've trained with Psycho Fitness while Charles Glass was training both of us in 2015.
So Psycho was your training partner?
Yes, in 2015, the entire year. We didn't talk the entire year, but we trained together. And, you know, it's a little bit, it's not much of a difference. I still, you know, talk to Charles Glass, you know, even while training with Psycho Fitness. It's just, you know, Charles is more angles at times, and that's good for me. And then Psycho Fitness is more like an old school kind of training where you're going to go in the gym, you're going to pick up a lot of heavy weights. And that's really good, especially in the off season. But, you know, you need to try different style of training as a competitor, as a bodybuilder, and not just stick to, hey, this is all I know. You have to be coachable, and that's something that I learned at a very early age. If I wanted to make improvement and see improvement, I have to try a little bit of everything. I trained with Ronnie Coleman for 2 weeks. Actually, I lived at Ronnie's house for 2 weeks and trained with him. I've spoke to Dorian Yates, spoke to Flex Wheeler. I've spoke to a lot of different guys. I've even trained like Dorian Yates, you know, for a while, but you have to do a little bit of everything to figure out what works best for you. You know, you might be training one body part that works, you know, the way how Charles Glass is training. You might have a body part that needs a little bit more beaten up, like the Branch Warren and, you know, Dorian Yates used to train just heavy and hard. But until you try a little bit of each, you won't know, because you might have a stubborn body part. He goes, I just won't grow. You might just need to change your method of training.
Okay. A lot of people talking all the time about the role of the genetics in the iron sport. So you are the Mr. Olympia, the best bodybuilder in the world. So you think about the concept of genetics. It's so important, like people say it, or not?
Genetics plays a part in being a professional bodybuilder. But there are a lot of great guys with genetics that don't look like shit because they don't train. Genetics will only take you but so far. You still have to go in the gym and do it the old-fashioned way, which is training. Yes, it's a blessing to have good genetics, but it's also a curse. You know, if you have genetics and you don't take advantage of it, so there's negative and positive sides of, you know, having good genetics. And I found at an early age that I have good genetics, but if I wasn't willing to go in the gym and train and improve on those body parts because of my genetics, I'll just be another guy with great genetics sitting around in the gym talking to everybody.
Okay, the next question. Everybody talk with you how you go to Mr. O, what is your road to be Mr. O, but no one asks you how your life changed after being Mr. Olympia. And I ask it because I know that you have a beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, the family is very important for you, and when you are the biggest ambassador of the bodybuilding on the world, you also must travel a lot. So how you can to combine these two things?
Well, at home, I'm not Mr. Olympia. At home, I'm just Shawn. So, you know, it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit difficult because you have to balance, you know, with your family and, you know, work. Because for me, bodybuilding, I don't look at bodybuilding at that time as a job. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it's at times very hard in the family knowing I'm either dieting or traveling. And what I've done in the past is there are times that I'm traveling, I take my family with me so that they could be a part of what I'm doing. The same thing when I'm dieting and training. I try to get my family involved with, you know, whether it's date night or, you know, I take even take my daughter out and dates. Thursday nights are normally Daddy and Cora Day, where me and her, you know, 3-year-old, go on a date, and you know, we'll find a restaurant that we always go to, and you know, we sit and me and my 3-year-old talk, you know. But that's what it takes with a very hectic schedule, that you have to make time for your family, because whether you're winning or you're losing, your family's always there for you. They welcome you off stage and in the bad moments, and you try to get them on stage when you win it. You know, same thing with traveling. I try to get them out and about with me, but I don't let being Mr. Olympia change who I am. I'm, you know, still the same person. My family just realized that my schedule becomes a little bit more hectic, and I'm very thankful for the support supporting system that I have, because without it, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
Okay, and now the last question. When you are a Mr. O, you must be the biggest ambassador of bodybuilding on the world. We meet the first time at FOLS Prague Pro this year.
Yeah.
And I saw you, I saw also Jay Cutler when you go back to the backstage and talk with our athletes. So how you see your role like the ambassador of the bodybuilding on the world?
You know, as I've said from day one, as Mr. Olympia, it's not just a title, it's something that you need to showcase, and it means that you have to travel and meet the fans. And there are a lot of people out there, a lot of fans, a lot of athletes out there that are aspiring to be where, you know, the top pros are. And the only way they could feel as if they're closer to their goal is if they're actually interacting with you. I've learned a lot over the years from watching the likes of Jay Cutler and Lee Haney, and, you know, seeing these guys, you know, constantly out. Jay Cutler's retiring. Jay Cutler is still traveling. I was just with him in FIBO, and I love that, you know, because I knew as an amateur coming up, I would go to this expo to see the Shawn Rhoden, the Flex Wheeler, and all those guys, because I wanted to be inspired. I wanted to be like those guys. I wanted to be Kevin Levrone. You know, I wanted to be Flex Wheeler. And you get more and more inspired when you're in the presence of those guys. So I want to be that guy that, you know, the fellow athletes are looking up to and say, hey, listen, you know what? I just met Shawn Rhoden. Not Mr. Olympia, I just met Shawn Rhoden, and he inspired me. I want to be the next Mr. Olympia because of him. I want to be the next top athlete because of him. And if I could inspire just one guy to walk in the footsteps that I've laid, I've done my job.
Okay, so you did your job, because for me, you are inspiration.
Thank you. That's my guy.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Shawn, for everything.
You. Appreciate it.
I hope it's not the last time when we see, and we're
going to be here a lot.